everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here for another energy update. This is for the month of June 2022, which has just started today. Today is June 1st as I'm filming this. And let's just say we have a lot happening energetically speaking this month. We had a lot happening last month. I feel like it's been a really long time since I've done one of these messages because for some reason the month of May just, even though time seems to be speeding up, it did seem to slow down a bit in May. I feel like a lot happened energetically speaking in May to prepare us for what's coming in June. So there's probably a lot to talk about today. I did have Ascended Master Saint Germain step forward and Goddess Isis step forward to share some messages with us today and to pull some cards for us today. So we'll get into that those guided messages in a little bit. But first, I just wanted to share a little bit about what is happening this month, what the important energy dates are. There's at least 3 of them that I'm aware of. And the first one is coming up on June 6th, which is a Monday. It's the 666 portal date, and I've seen a lot of people talking about this in the spiritual communities. There's a lot of meditations going on that day, activations, people getting together. So just be aware of that. I will probably channel some more specific guidance for my Patreon group as it pertains to the members in that group. That will be a more a group energy update for these 3 energy dates that I will provide on my Patreon group. So if you're not a member of that, please sign up. The link is in the comments, or I'm sorry, the link is in the descriptions box. And so that's the first portal date. The second one is happening on Tuesday, June 14th, which is a full moon in Sagittarius. So we know that full moon energy is always a heightened time for intuition and moon magic. So I like to tune into those dates as well during the month. And then Tuesday, June 21st is the summer solstice, and that's kind of a big date, energetically speaking. So I may do an energy update here for that, but I might just also do that only for my Patreon group. I haven't decided. So those are the 3 important dates coming up in June. So be aware of those. High energy activation dates I'm hearing. So definitely follow your intuition as what you're being guided to pay attention to on those dates. Okay, so let's bring in Saint Germain. And he did pull some cards. He chose 2 different decks, and there's 2 separate groups of cards that he chose. I did get a little information and insight about, what the cards represented, and but I don't know too much about the exact messages that he wants to share with you on that. So let me invite him to step in, and he's coming in on my left side, and I can see Isis and feel Isis on my right front. But he's kind of shifting over here now, so I can see him. Okay, so let me just ask, where do you want to start with all of this? He's saying, well, you requested that we do a message, that we share a message with the collective about the divine masculine, or from the divine masculine perspective, what is going on, what is happening. Yes, I did make that request because somebody noted that like some of the other energy updates might have been more geared to like divine feminine, and we're curious what's going on with the divine masculine. And he's saying that they are going through a period of uprootal. wow, what's an uprooting process is what he's saying. Uprootal was the first, uprootal as in uproot. I don't know that word or if that's an actual word, but they're going through an uprooting process. So he's showing they're like being picked from the ground, roots and all. They're being stirred up, energetically speaking. There's a lot of stirring going on, a lot of friction, a lot of tension in the air between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, as we are seeing playing out, he's saying, playing out on the mass stage, on the stages for all to see. And if you're not aware, I believe he's talking about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, which seems to be the talk of the town these days, a public display of, kind of like vicious attacks, between masculine, feminine energies, just kind of out to get each other, hurt each other. Not to get into that topic so much, but that's what he seems to be referring to, that it's playing out. He's saying it's playing out for all to see, for all to be aware of. The feeling is like what's hiding beneath the surface of what's being called to action, what's being called to not even action, but like to be seen, to be more aware of these traits, the darker side of the feminine, the darker side of the masculine. These are being like uprooted and being called to look at. So this is what the uprooting process is, and this is what the stirring of the energy is, the stirring of the collective energy. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of backlash. There's a lot of he's highlighting domestic violence, which I think is interesting. There's a lot of domestic violence going on, he's saying. There's a lot going on behind locked doors, and this is what is being needed to be seen. So it's being exposed in the public eye through this example of a relationship where two high-profile people are living like lives that aren't so great. It's kind of what he's showing, that almost like living a lie. Like, you see them on stage, you see them out in public, and you think that they have the perfect marriage, but what's going on behind locked doors? What's going on behind closed doors? So these types of falsehoods, these types of illusions or realities are breaking apart and being exposed. And he's talking about within relationships, within your own relationship. So it's like, it's the, how are you saying this, Saint Germain? It's like the light is being cast on you to now look at your own life, and what are you hiding in your closet? Like, what are, like, just what's going on there in your own inner dynamic of the divine masculine and feminine energies in your relationships. How is that playing out? What are the modes of, what are the points of conflict, he's saying? Where is there conflict? Where is there tension? That stuff is going to be stirred up even more. So it's going to feel like a fight. It's going to feel like the masculine energy butting heads with the feminine energy until both can see clearly through their higher grace and wisdom what is shifting within, what is shifting, what is being called to change, what is being called to action again. So what's being shifted within, to look to see each other through a new perspective, from a new lens, is what he's saying, to love each other, to connect on that heart level again. So masculine energy is feeling very charged, like, is that right? Is the masculine energy very charged? It's like they're charged for an attack. It's like they're ready for an attack. They're prepared. They've got all their armor on, and they're awaiting the sign. And the feminine energy is what? It's like letting loose. It's kind of coming apart at the seams. It's showing its uglier side, is what he's saying. It's the uglier side of the truth, which is that we all need love. We all desire love, is what he's saying, to love and to be loved. And when we feel that that love is under attack, or that somebody is or in threat of being taken away, we rage and we attack the other gender in this case. And there's just a power struggle going on, is what he's saying. There's a power struggle for control. So it's really that coming from that ego place, when you feel you're not getting what you need or what you want out of a relationship. For example, you go into attack mode. You attack your partner of choice to restabilize or reclaim your ground, is what he's saying. So there are a lot of people going into attack mode in this type of current or energetic current. So just be aware of the relationship turmoil that might be stirred up by these energies, because there's waking up going on. There's an awakening process happening, and stuff is wanting to be seen, and stuff is wanting to be cleared and healed on a collective level. So it's always about a collective energetic wound, he's saying, when anything like of this nature comes to the forefront so publicly and so widely spread. It's for you to see something, for you to gain something, learn something, grow from it, and see more clearly what's wanting to be changed and what's wanting to be shifted, and how the perspective is wanting to shift. And what the wounds are, he's saying, also are becoming more clear, like how both sides have been wounded. Not just one. It's not about one against the other and who's right and who's wrong and who's the winner and who's the loser, but it's about how both sides have been hurting each other and fighting for too long. So they're fighting for power, they're fighting for their right to be heard. A lot of different things are coming to the forefront, but it's really a battle of empowerment, he's saying, and it's all about self-empowerment. How are we loving ourselves? How are we honoring ourselves? How are we honoring each other? And how are we treating each other? So learning to get along is really the common theme, is finding common ground between the divine masculine and feminine. This is what wants to happen, and some of these things need to be healed and seen and looked at from an individual perspective, because it's stirring up like a fight within, the inner conflict of the divine masculine and divine feminine that's going on within, because it's not just about gender at this point. It's about how we all have divine masculine qualities and divine feminine qualities that want to express themselves, but in a harmonic and balanced way and unified way, he's saying. So it's about the marriage between those aspects of ourselves and how we treat those aspects, and how those aspects essentially talk to or treat each other, and whether there's an internal battle and conflict happening that might be playing out in our personal relationships. So the inner turmoil and tension that is within, it can be exposed through our relationships, through our partners, and how those relationships mirror those tendencies for those qualities maybe to be unbalanced and ungrounded, he's saying. So just take it all in stride, he's saying, but just know that is what's being shaken up, it feels like. So thank you, Saint Germain, for clearing that up for us and helping us to see that perspective of what's going on. You did pull some cards, so I want to get to those. The first card came from my Kyle Gray Gateway of Light Activation Oracle, and it was this card, which says, Shambhala initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. So he wants me to briefly mention what Shambhala is, and it is a spiritual etheric temple that exists between worlds. So it's between the non-physical and the physical world. You can go there in meditation. It is located in the heart of the Himalaya mountains in Tibet, near the Tibetan monks, and there is like a hierarchy or council of light that is made up of many different ascended masters, many from the Eastern philosophies. It's also called Shangri-La. Also, it's known as that. But it is a temple of light. It's a golden temple, he's saying, and it exists within your heart as well. So you can go there in your mind. You can go there during meditation and things like that. So it is a real place, but it exists on a spiritual plane, is what he's saying. Okay. Oh, and it's where this council of ascended masters, they help to, I wrote this down, support Dharma, which means Dharma is the unfolding of one's life path. End purpose is what I'm hearing. So interesting. Okay, so so I've read what the card said. So what is this message and how is it relevant for the collective? So he is saying and showing that some of us are going to feel, it's like what it means for you, whatever it means for you. So it's like some of us are going to feel the need to rest and retreat. We're going to feel like there's an onslaught of energies coming at us right now. A lot of this is coming from the collective as well. A lot of strong energies coming at us, and it feels like fight or flight type of mode is being triggered here in many circumstances. So there is like an overwhelming of the nervous system is what I'm seeing and hearing energetically speaking. So there is a need to rest and recharge and reground ourselves. So again, he's coming in with that grounding being very important. And then he's also highlighting trusting in the process. So we are, in the word initiation, so we are going through an initiation process. And part of this is being set into action by this council, of the Ascended Masters, to wake us up, is what he's saying. So it's an inner journey, and it's about trusting the process and going within, learning to go within, learning how to settle the energy by going within, learning how to energetically reconnect with yourself, your higher self, he's showing on a spiritual, mental, physical, emotional level, reconnecting all of these areas, and just reestablishing the connections to all of these areas, so that there's a flow of energy, there's a alignment of energy and a balance of energy. So balance is really needed. He keeps stressing balance, and then he's putting in my mind, this is the year of balance and harmony, harmonizing of energies, because he's showing me the number 2, and we have the 222 portals happening throughout. We had that happening in February, but just the year 2022, it is a 222 year, and so and that's part of why that 666 activation portal date is going to be important. So numerology shows us the path that we're on, and the path of number 2 is all about duality, but it's also about learning how to find balance within duality and learning how to harmonize within duality. So harmonic relationships, he's saying, are very important as we pass through these portals. There's going to be energies rising to highlight that as like a major theme of this year, even finding love, finding balance within all relationships, including the one with yourself, your higher self. So part of this attunement process is to recognize when you need to retreat and you need to go within. And he's showing Shambhala as a etherical retreat center and temple healing type of place. So you can go there to recharge and refuel your tank and re-energize yourself. So you can visualize, you can do visualizations with that. He's saying there's many guided meditations online through YouTube for that purpose. So, but learn to go with the temple within, build that temple within. So it's all about like finding sanctuary within, the calm within the storm, learning to create that calm place within yourself so that you are centered and grounded when things start to rattle and shake around you. You don't get thrown off your course. And when he says course, he's talking about Dharma. You don't get thrown off your life path. It's kind of impossible to get thrown off your life path because everything is a learning lesson, but you can definitely learn to ride that path a lot more in a more stabilized direction and motion without so much friction, he's saying. So it's the friction that causes it's like that anxiety and that overwhelmed feeling of the nervous system. So a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed, he's saying, energetically speaking, because there is a lot happening, and a lot happening this month, and a lot's been happening. We had a lunar eclipse, we had a solar eclipse last month, so he's saying a lot's happening. It's going to continue to be increasing in momentum and acceleration in frequency and intensity, so learn to ride that wave in a softer manner, and that's all about recognizing the need to retreat and recharge. So thank you, Saint Germain, for helping us to understand that. And then the third group of cards, the second group of cards, second group of cards he pulled was from the Crystal Angels Oracle cards deck by Doreen Virtue, and there were 3 cards that came out. And what did he say these were? He said clarifying messages, lessons, what's being woken up, or what's being you're being asked to look at or pay more attention to, what's awakening within, he's saying. Well, the first card on the top is deep emotional healing, and he's saying that's what he was talking about. The deep wounding is what he's saying, the wounds that are coming up to be healed. So there has to be an emphasis on healing this month. This is kind of a generalized theme that comes up, but it's important to utilize these energies, these portal dates, to really see, because there's a lot of illumination. There's an illumination effect going on, and what is being revealed to be healed, he's saying. So it's revealing for healing. Very good one. I like that. Revealed to be healed. Okay, so this card just says your heart is ready to heal from past experiences, and you are willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. So that's a general theme. The other one he pulled was unconventionality. Your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. It's okay to feel and be different from others. The message is to be you, to honor you, to be assertive with your needs, be assertive about what you want and how you want to get that, what you want in your life, and just be assertive, like go out and get it. So it's just, he's saying a cry for help. So he's the collective throughout the collective. He's saying there's a cry for help. There's a cry for help going on. There's a lot of people who have been wounded to the degree where they just don't feel safe in the world. They don't feel safe being themselves. So he's saying we are looking to create, we as in you and I and all the people watching this video in this community are being called to create that safe space, to create that safe haven for others to feel loved and accepted wholeheartedly for who they are, to be themselves, and live that example of truth, he's saying. Live that through your own example of being true to yourself. And it's all about your heart, what your heart desires. It's not the ego. It's being able to filter out the egoic mind and really look past what the ego's wants and needs are to what the heart truly needs to be at peace and one and still and at joy within. So ask your heart the questions. What does your heart need? And leave the mind out of it, he's saying. So, because the mind is going to project fears and doubts and insecurities and anxiety, but the heart is going to be less restrictive of your flow. And so it's all about finding your flow and finding your grace and learning to listen more to your intuition and your divine feminine wisdom and how that speaks to you through your feelings is what he's showing, through your true feelings. So learn to hear your heart's messages and that higher wisdom coming from within, and how your guides might be leading and nudging you also to kind of give you those reminders of what's really important, those like important life lessons where we come back into balance when we pay attention to how things are shifting around us and how we are being asked to shift with those changes and to go with the flow. and accept the process, he's saying. So self-acceptance is also very important in that energetic theme. And the third card is this one, and it is self-confidence through God confidence. Believe in yourself by believing in God working through you. And he's saying, he's talking about miracles. The miracles are about to happen. It's like, he's saying this life is ultimately a course in miracles. And he's saying a course in miracles because there is actually a book written called A Course in Miracles, which I have not read, but I have been told about it by many. It's been recommended by many of my friends and colleagues. But essentially, he's saying this whole year is a course in miracles. Everything in your life is a course of in miracles. It's all about how to make those miracles happen and how to get that God power flowing through you. So self-confidence through God power is really just believing in yourself, believing that you have the ability to do it and create it. And then it's just, taking action, not letting fear drag you down. So again, he's like, be forward, be firm, be brave, honor yourself by honoring your truth, and go out and get what you want. Go out and do that. But again, listen to the heart. The heart is guiding you. It's not coming from the mind. The mind might say you want power, fortune, and fame, but the heart might just say you just want to feel loved. You just want to be loved. You just want to feel accepted in the world. You just want to have a safe place to be yourself. So look for that. Look for that is what he's saying. So, but that's where you're going to find your confidence, is what he's saying. So that's where you're going to find your power. Is he is kind of pointing to the need to join in with groups of people or friends or acquaintances that believe what you believe, that have that same feeling of empowerment and sovereignty in what your own in your own ability to create and manifest, and that will cheer you on and that will support you in what you want to do. So, and will encourage you to share your gifts, is what he's saying. So all of that, it's kind of like he's showing the divine masculine qualities within that want to come out. It's like that's where the divine masculine really shines, he's saying, is when you really step into your God's power. He's saying your power, your creator power, and your knowingness of that you are the creator. You are that which you seek, or seek to know and discover. That's the part of yourself that you are wanting to align with. It is going to make you stronger and help you to uncover more of the truth about who you are, which is really what all this life is about. So it's uncovering what's true from what's false. So the ego often projects like a false sense of reality, whereas the heart always presents true and projects truth. So again, listen to the heart. And that's your intuition, he's saying. That's your divine feminine intuition. He's like, see how all these beautiful parts come into balance? That's what he's really trying to show through these messages, which is really cool because I didn't fully pick up on that before, but it makes a lot of sense because I did want to represent both sides here and to kind of understand what's happening collectively with these energies. So he's now pointing to Isis and saying Isis is ready to step forward. It's her turn, is what he's saying. And he enjoys sharing the stage and spotlight with her and her beautiful goddess energy. He's saying, wow, he's very flattering. He's very flattering and charming, Saint Germain. Very, very, very fun personality. Okay, so Goddess Isis is stepping forward now, and I'm feeling her energy and the shift in the energy. And is there anything you would like to start with, Isis, or would you like to start with the cards? No, as in nothing that she wants. She said, Saint Germain said it all. He highlighted the need for balancing the energies. She's here to highlight the divine feminine wisdom that's wanting to come forth, that is wanting to sprout, that's wanting to grow, that's being birthed on the planet, this collective, this new collective energy. It's not just about the divine feminine, but it is what is coming within, what is being awakened within, the calling within, answering the call within. So She wants me to start with this first. She had 3 groups of cards from 3 different decks. The first deck she wants me to share is the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And, ooh, this card just flipped over. Oops, so I accidentally shut the camera off for a second, but this card kind of flipped over, so this is the first one she wants me to read. So there's 4 cards here, and she said these cards represent the divine path. What is awakening within? Okay. Okay. First one says second bloom, the second bloom, and the card reads a second chance. It's never too late. New possibilities. So this is like the energetic theme. This is what the portal is opening up right now, is what she's showing, the 666 portal. It's a gateway to like a higher perspective, to a higher way of life, a higher way of thinking. It's just another opportunity to align with, you know, the Christ consciousness energy, but also to rise, to meet, you know, our divine selves, and to really reflect those images by coming into alignment with our highest path. And so the second bloom, it's like we're getting a second chance here is what it feels like. It's just a second calling is what she's saying. It's a calling coming through your intuition to kind of wake up. So she's saying there's like an alarm, not an alarm, but it's like someone like blowing out of a bugle horn is what I'm saying. It's a bugle horn, some type of horn. And it is the call. It's like the call, the broadcast is being out, it's being broadcast. And so those who are rising are being called to wake up. So there's a second wave of waking up, you know. There's also a third, a fourth, and a fifth wave. So it's just an ongoing process, but there's a loud call that's being kind of broadcast right now. And it feels like it has to do with the 666 portal. But again, I'll tune more directly into that energy date and share what I get on my Patreon community for that. The third card is, so that is kind of what's happening is what I'm hearing. And then the third card says, come to me, attracting like a rose. I'll show you. Come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance, desires. So it's all about being open-hearted, being open to receive the energetic flow of abundance that's coming your way. There's a downpouring of love. There's a downpouring of abundance. This energy, there's a lot of want and need for abundance in the collective right now, but it's more about becoming an energetic match to receive that. So if there's fear in your hearts, if there's fear of the outcome, that there's not going to be enough, that this whole idea of lack and with things, the prices of everything rising and food shortages on the way, then you will attract that into your life to help you to see the ways you are not lacking. So gratitude is really gratitude for the receiver, of being the receiver of all that is good and all that is blessed and all that is great, is what she is saying, and all that God provides. And the mother provides is what she's saying, like Mother Earth. So just be in a state of gratitude and honor that. That's an important theme. It feels like to attract more abundance, because that the collective really does need more abundance. But there's just a lot. They put the people. Well, there's a lot of limitations being put on the minds of people that there's not enough. And so that's part of the programming that wants to be rewritten and recoded, but it's going to take us on an individual level to rewrite that for ourselves and to really manifest our own abundance and live in our own internal abundance, is what she's saying. So it really is like she's saying joy comes from within. So it's about loving yourself. It's about nurturing yourself, being kind to yourself, being kind to others, giving to others, and being grateful to receive as well, the blessings as well. So, and being open to receive. Back to the original, what she was saying and when she first started talking about that card. Okay, so the third card is the Mystic Rose. This is what we're being called to do. Compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, grace. So it's all about compassion, humility, and grace. Again, this Christ consciousness energy is infiltrating the planet right now, and it's lifting up and raising the frequency of the hearts of many, and many people are coming and grouping together and really emulating these qualities, and spreading this love and spreading this message, this Christ's higher message, and learning how to love and support each other. So this is part of like that finding the balance within, and through our own self-compassion, our own ability to nurture and love ourselves. So this is like the mother energy that wants to come out. So really how we treat ourselves is a lot to do with that. As has a lot to do, she's saying, with how we treat others is actually what she was saying. So be kind to each other. She's saying, have grace, have humility, have compassion, have forgiveness. And she's kind of showing Amber Heard too. Have compassion for Amber Heard. You know, a lot of us or people in general are kind of like hating on her right now. But it's really like you're hating on a part of yourself, because there's a wounded part. There is a wound there, and it's a societal wound, she's saying, that needs to be healed. So look at like how that wound shows up in your life, or how that wound might be affecting you. So that needs to be healed, and it's the energy of love, compassion, and forgiveness that is going to heal it. So just be aware and be kind to yourselves, loving to yourselves. The Wild Rose was the last of those 4 cards, and it says, do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, untamed. She's highlighting unconventionality card that came up with Master Saint Germain. Own your own uniqueness, she's saying. Own it, own your gifts, own your power. Don't shy away for opportunities to shine your light. Don't dim it down so others can't see you. Brighten it up. You know, don't be so loud that you blind anybody. In a provocative way, she's saying, just so, sassy kind of attitude, but be fierce, be bold, be brave, have those, and tenacious, she's saying. So it feels like you want to have that not backing down type of quality, just willing to stand your ground is what she's saying. So we need as many light workers as we can get, boots on the ground type of feeling, and we need you to be strong, and we need you to be brave, and we need you to shine at your fullest capacity and power. So it's all about standing in your power and standing in your truth, and also standing with your army next to you. So she's showing all of us standing together, so not hating on each other. Another important reminder that we shouldn't be putting each other down. We shouldn't be, we're grouping together as like-minded souls, but just because one group, might have a focus on perceiving things one way and another group is out there perceiving it another way, it's not necessarily right or wrong how you perceive it. It's just where you're at in your own journey of waking up and how you shine your light that matters, is what she's saying. So just honoring that journey in others and knowing that, others are where they are and where they're supposed to be. And it's not for you to worry or be concerned about where someone else is and why they're choosing what they're choosing, but owning your own power in service to others and how you show up for your work and what you do, and how you activate others to do the same and empower others to do the same, and be creative in bolder and bigger ways and brighter ways is really the general message that she wants to get across in that. So yeah, a lot of you are mystics and a lot of you are healers, she's saying. So this Mystic Rose and Wild Rose card are all really, was it the Mystic Rose? Yeah, it was Mystic Rose. I can't even remember myself. The Mystic Rose and the Wild Rose card it's these two aspects of the divine feminine too are wanting to come into balance, are shifting into balance. So it's a little bit of a wild ride because the wild side of the wild rose is coming out more. It's like this untamed version of the feminine energy. It's wild, it's chaotic, it's kind of like Kali, Kali Ma, the goddess, when she's, got her tongue out and she's dancing and all wild and scary almost. It can be a little bit frightening, to look that side of yourself in the eye, but to deny it, but don't deny it, because it's untapped energy, it's untapped potential. There's something that energy is craving and desiring and wanting to do and create, that it's just dying inside. It's like fierce, it's like raging inside, it's raging to get out, she's saying. So here's the call of the raging beast. What is raging within you? What desires are raging to be heard and seen and felt? What is your wild woman side wanting to do, or your wild side wanting to do? Because it's not just about gender. It's about owning all of ourselves, like all of our aspects of ourselves, and learning how to listen to each aspect and hear what the greater message is, and how we're supposed to be owning these parts of ourselves, and harnessing the power of all of our parts into a greater whole. So it's almost like she's showing to imagine all these parts sitting at the round table at that higher council of light as your own higher council of light. It's like invite all of these parts to sit at the table, to have a place at the table, and to be able to share their own opinions and thoughts on the matter at hand. And take turns going around and asking each individual, as you do your guides, what their thoughts and feelings are, because you'll be surprised. It's mostly just about wanting to be heard and understood, and that's how you can then integrate those points of view from many directions into one harmonized whole perspective, is what she's saying. So look at everything from the viewpoint of others, these others that live within you, but also others that you know. When you're talking about something that, like an argument or an issue of debate, or something that's you're discussing with a group of people, or look at it from all sides and all angles, and see it from all angles, and that'll give you the best way to understand it and what is needed there to be compassionate towards what's wanting to be changed or shifted, is kind of what she's showing. So really good explanations, really good advice. Thank you, Isis. Let's get to the next group of cards, and that came from the Sacred Forest Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. And these cards, Isis said, represents what is happening, the energetic current. So it's like the actual energies that's going on. And I thought it was interesting because one of the cards was spring activation, or spirit guardian of spring, but the key word on the card is activation. So activations are happening. This is a very activating and illuminating time where the sun energy is very strong. The portal of the sun is what she's saying. The sun goddess. Isis, I feel, works more with the moon, but Hathor, is it Hathor or Sekhmet? Sekhmet is more with the sun, but maybe Hathor too. It feels like she's talking about some Egyptian goddess energy with the sun, or maybe even the raw energy with the sun. But the sun energy is very strong. So, and that's going to come in the form of solar flares as well, solar waves and ascension waves and all of that good stuff. So that's what she meant. The energy is really powerful and potent. It's heating things up, and that is going to cause major shifts, revelations, and transformations. So she's showing me the energy of fire right now, and that was the other card that came out, the fire spirit, and it says energy on the card because the fire energy is really strong. So it's like the burning in the intensity of the sun as the sun heats up, or as the the rays of the sun heat everything up, it gets everything like burning almost, and that's where like the new birth and the rebirth and the creation comes in. So from that fire comes the creation, and that's like the symbol of the phoenix rising also. So just a lot of fire energy, a lot of fiery energy, and just an amplification of that type of energy. But it's wanting to burn, it's wanting to kind of destroy the old and recreate the new so that the new can be birthed. So just be aware that these portals and activation dates that we kind of mentioned earlier are also about that energetic theme of rebirth, transformation, making anew, destroying the old and creating new. And pay attention to the ways you're being activated to do that. So on those high energy portal dates, a general theme is just pay attention to what you're being called to do, what you feel like you're being activated to do and create or destroy. So there's going to be a sense of destruction as well. So in order to create, there's something that needs to be destroyed or let go of or released, some type of attachment. And so for the birthing of the new to step forward. So just stepping into your power is just becoming more aware of what that means for you and what those activations are for you and what you are being called to do in your personal life, what you're being called to change and how you're being called to shift your focus. And then the last card here was courage, and then having the courage and strength to do it, and the commitment and the resolve. And you can call on your guides for help. You're going to need that warrior energy. That's the divine masculine at its finest as well. That warrior energy, you face everything head on. You don't run away. You don't hide. You don't crawl away from it. You face it head on with strength and courage, that even if it scares you on some level, you can do it. Like you will have the help you needed, you will have the guidance you needed, you'll be able to face it, face your fears, is what she's saying. So you're not going to be able to hide from them in that type of an energy. So choosing action over non-action in those situations where you're being called to face your fear head on. The energy is going to push you to do that. So more confrontation, but remember to be balanced. So there is going to be a call for confrontation, but if you're not balanced within energetically, like if you're not giving yourself that self-nurturing and divine feminine and that love, then you are going to butt heads with something. It's going to come across as an attack. And that's where that headbutting energy might come in. So because a lot of people are being called to step up and stand their ground on matters of the heart is what I'm hearing, but in a way that is balanced and harmonic to the whole, in a way that's unifying. Like show what you express your truth, but express it in a way that is healing and like compassionate and nurturing to the other, not in a way that is like defending or offensive to the other. So this is just a practice she's saying that a lot of us are learning. And it starts with accepting ourselves and being able to have the courage to accept what we believe in our truth, and then being able to then accept the truth in others, even if it's different from what we believe. Okay, so really good messages, and I'm so happy Isis and Saint Germain are here. The last deck she pulled from was Doreen Virtue's Angel Therapy Oracle Cards deck, and the three cards that came out were, I'm just going to say them: Integrity, Manifestation Power, and Shield Yourself. And she's saying there's no need to read the cards, like there's deeper messages on the cards, but she's saying right now there's no need to read those. This group of cards represents what people are being called to do and how to serve these higher activations. So the things that are being activated that we kind of discussed the lessons and themes. This is like the more like action oriented stuff. Like what are we being called to do, and how to serve, how to best serve. So shield yourself, integrity, manifestation power. So integrity is the quality that we want to have in service to others. So integrity is your intention is pure, your heart is pure, your service is pure hearted and well intentioned. So when you come from that place, she's saying you cannot make any mistakes. You don't make mistakes. Mistakes don't happen. You don't accidentally injure somebody because your intentions are pure. When your intentions are pure and you're pure-hearted, you're speaking truth from a pure place, and that has the highest frequency. So that would only bring forward situations that were helpful for other people, that were expansive or helping others to grow and unify and helpful to other people. So that's what she's saying. Higher vibration. So that means your thoughts too. Have integrity with your thoughts, she's saying. So it's not just about what your actions and what you do, but it's what are you thinking about? Are you worrying about people? Are you putting fear onto people? She's saying. Are you worrying about people's health and how they're going to handle this and how they're going to handle that? She's saying to stop that. She's saying don't. You always give people power. Like always think of people like as powerful beings of light and as being able to handle whatever comes their way. Project that power onto others when you think of them in that way. Don't project like qualities of weakness or weakness or apprehension is what she's saying. Or insecurities or just low power, like low power mode is what she's saying. So project courage onto people, project that, will that for people, and give them the space to wake up to their own courage and their own freedom is what she's saying. So it's all about liberation, is what she's saying. And manifestation power, so that kind of just says it all. This is all about waking up our powers to manifest. Those powers are waking up more and more as these energies come more and more into alignment with the higher frequencies that are being broadcast out there to us from like many different sources. But essentially, it's just waking us up to our own abilities to create and manifest what we want, what we desire, highest outcomes. And you can call on Saint Germain also to help you align with that manifestation power as well. He works with the violet flame, and that can also be used as a spiritual tool to transmute anything that might be holding you back in your energetic space, clear your energetic space in your field so that you can be free to really hone in on what you really do want, what your true purpose is, like Dharma unfolding kind of in that way, like just coming in more full alignment with your path. And the last one was shield yourself. Shield yourself from unwanted energies, thoughts. And she's talking about coming from outside sources. So it's like anything that doesn't resonate, leave it behind. You don't, if your house is on fire and you only could take a few things with you, you would just take the most important stuff. Leave everything else behind and let it burn, she's saying. Just let it burn, let it burn away. Because the fires of change are upon us, she's saying. The wheels of fire are turning, she's saying. So we're spinning in a new direction. We're shifting in a new direction as a collective. There are people that want to stay behind. They don't want to shift into a new paradigm. Let them stay. Not let them burn. That's not what she's saying, because she's being very specific. But she's saying let it burn, like let the old paradigm burn, and don't worry who's clinging to it. They'll be fine. There will be survivors. But it just won't resonate anymore, she's saying, with your direction. So you need not to worry about what others are doing, but just focus on the changes that you want to make and commit to that. And then protect your energy, protect your space from any unwanted energy. So pay attention to how something makes you feel. So like if you're watching something, you're reading something, you're hearing something, like just pay attention to like any unwanted energy, and that just what matches your frequency, what gives you love and gives you a joyful feeling, and raises your vibration, gives you energy, lifts you up, and what doesn't. Don't give too much attention to the things that don't. It's all about shifting your focus, and that's what she means by shielding your energy. Because you do want to protect your thought space. She's saying you want to protect your heart space, but you want to protect your thought space too. You want to keep your thoughts clear and uncluttered of any negative distractions or negative talk, is what she's saying. Any that come from outside sources. So there's a lot of ways people talk in the world, treat each other. You can watch movies that are violent, for example, and where there's killing going on, or you can watch like documentaries that are true stories about people that are helping each other and supporting each other and healing each other. And there's good work being done on this earth, but it's not being broadcast on the main media outlet. So you have to do a little digging, but always stick with information that's high vibe and brings joy to your heart, because that's the world you want to create. That's the world you are creating. We are creating and moving into. So we want to really let go of like any outdated forms of distraction, she's saying, that just are not an energetic match for that frequency of where we're going. The frequency of love and unity consciousness is where we're going. So if you want to get there faster, you need to do an energetic clean sweep of all of the information that you essentially absorb, take in from any source. You have to really look at the source, look at the value of that information, and look what it does to your frequency. And that's one of the quickest ways, she says, that we can clear our energy fields, is just by tuning our focus into something that is high vibe, that gives us back that feeling, that keeps us connected to our heart chakra, that doesn't disconnect us from our heart chakra and our true beliefs, by giving us something that looks true from a physical reality sense, but isn't what we want to create. It may be true on some reality that violence exists, and that war exists, and that famine exists, but that's not the reality you want to create. So if it's the reality, what is the reality you want to create, and go about staying tuned to that frequency, and watching and reading and interacting with people in a way that you can actually feel that as being true and see that as being true. So I think that makes sense, but I'm just kind of like processing a lot of this stuff, because it's just so many messages came through, and they're all so good. And just so relevant. So, look to these high energy portal dates I'm hearing. I'm kind of looking at Isis because I was wondering if she's still wanting to continue, but she's saying she's done, and she's ready to step back now, and I can take over. And I just want to thank Isis, and I want to thank Saint Germain for all the wisdom and guidance. Beautiful messages. I hope, again, I spoke those clearly, and that it made sense how they came out. But please do let me know in the comments how they resonate for you, or just how you're experiencing some of these shifts and changes, or how you're picking up on these energies, or what you might know about some of these high energy portal dates. And please take a minute right now to just give my video a like, and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do more energy updates like this. Another membership perk for Patreon is you get early access to the videos that I post on my YouTube. So Patreon members will get this video about a day or two ahead of schedule, before I post it on YouTube. Thank you again for all those who are donating on my Patreon group. And thank you all for watching. That's it for now. We'll see you next time. Bye.